Multiplication distributive property. The distributive property, or law, says that when we multiply a number by a group of numbers that are added together, it's the same as doing each multiplication separately. Here's an example that's kind of wordy. Here's an example of what it is. It's taking 3 and multiplying it times 2 plus 4, and then that's the same as going 3 times 2, which you see here, and 3 times 4, which you see here. It's sharing the 3 for each number with each number. Okay, it's like passing it out to each of the numbers. So it says 3 can be distributed or shared across 2 plus 4 into 3 times 2 and 3 times 4, what you see here. Now, in the order of operations, we know that if you had a problem like this, you would do 2 plus 4 first, because parentheses is one of the first things you do. We talked about it a little bit in class, and of course we're going to touch on it now. So if I did that, 2 plus 4 becomes 6. And when I multiply 3 times 6 all together, I get 18. Now it says that this value is supposed to be the same as the value over here. So we're going to check into that. 3 times 2, we know, is 6. And I'm supposed to add that to the value of 3 times 4, which is 12. If I add 6 plus 12 together, I get 18. So let's look at a picture of what this all means to help you clarify. Down here, we see our equations again below pictures. This one says 3 times 2 plus 4. Where does 3 come from? If we look here, we can see that we have 3 rows. So that's where the 3 comes from. We can also see that we have 2 columns that are light blue and 4 columns that are yellow. So what they did was they added the 2 columns of unshaded or blue and the 4 columns, they added those together for a total of 6 total columns. So really, if you looked at it, if I did my array model, it would be 3 rows times 6 columns would end up to be 18 total, which is the number we got above when we were doing the math. So here's 18. They're saying it's the same, and we already did the math, so let's see what it is. Up top, it's saying that 3 times 2, so it took apart the picture, and it's multiplying the columns here, which are 3, or the rows here, which are 3, times the column, which are 2. And so we can see that we have 6 total blocks that are colored in light blue. Over here, we still have the 3 columns, and that's where the 3 comes from. Both, or 3 rows, I'm sorry. Both of the pictures show 3 rows, but they have a different amount of columns. So this is 4 columns here, just like over here. The only difference is they took it apart. So we can do 3 times 4. When we do 3 times 4, we can see the 12 that we added above. Here's the 12, and here's the 12 blocks to go with it. Here's the 6, here's the 6 blocks to go with it. We can see all of this together. Just like when we look at this equation, the first thing we did was we added 2 plus 4, and we got 6. Well, what is 6 the number of? It's the number of columns. And then we were able to multiply 3 times 6 to get 18. So the distributive property is just saying either way you do this, you will get the same answer. Means the same thing. And that's the distributive property.